Fake beggars have been spotted all around the world. Most of them will go to great lengths to convince everyone passing by that they are in great need of either money or food. Some of these pesky individuals have even faked life-altering disabilities to gain the sympathy of others. Utterly disgraceful.
Bead boy, I'm just playing. I gotta go, y'all. I gotta make some money.
Here are a few of the world's greatest fake beggars caught red-handed. But before we jump into today's video, be sure to smash the like button or you'll have 7 years of bad luck. Who knows, a fake beggar may even take all of your money.
Everybody be cool, this is a robbery!
We want to make it painfully clear, when times are tough, sometimes you've got to do what you've got to do, and for some that may include asking others for money. Beggars have been a common part of society for as long as we can remember, but there has been a recent uprising in beggars who don't actually need the money. Some of these people are just too lazy to get regular jobs like the rest of us and expect the more charitable members of our community to give them the money they need to survive without having to work for it.
I need money.
Number 1. This was true for a woman who lives in Virginia and was caught by 2 men after she was seen begging for money in a nearby intersection. These 2 men had been on this woman's scheme for quite some time. She had been asking drivers for money at a nearby stoplight for several weeks before the men decided to approach her. The guys filmed their altercation with the woman and uploaded it to YouTube. It was then shared online thousands of times, and the woman, identified as Micah Dominguez, became an infamous viral sensation overnight. The men who filmed her began to follow her after she left the nearby intersection for the day. She walked a short distance away to a McDonald's where she had parked her car. They began to question her about her alleged homeless status, yet she set the record straight and verified that she never told anyone that she was homeless. Instead, she insisted that she had only ever told people that she was disabled and had been asking for money since she was supposedly unable to work.
You think that people have to stand out here because they're homeless?
Why do you stand out here?
Because I have a disability.
What are you disabled from? What's your nature of disability? What is the nature of disability?
That's none of your business.
Now, we cannot verify or debunk her claims of being disabled. That is her business, and it's best we don't make any suggestions or claims here. But the woman appeared to be in overall good health, considering she was able to stand out in the hot sun all day and walk a pretty long distance to the nearest McDonald's. The 2 men who were filming her began to claim that she was not disabled and that she had been stealing money from the government after receiving disability benefits each month. The disagreement between the men and the woman began to escalate, so she went to several of the workers at McDonald's to ask for help. These workers either weren't willing to help her or were unable to, and she was forced to face the men on her own.
I just work here. I don't know why.
You should know why it's wrong.
I don't know you, so I don't.
It's wrong.
But you can ask them though. They're the ones.
So why are y'all doing this?
Because it's wrong.
You're taking people's money. You have a clear car. What year is that?
It's wrong.
She was then seen getting into a very nice car that likely cost tens of thousands of dollars and presumably driving to her nearby home.
Can I help you with something?
No, you're all right.
What are you doing?
Just wondering why you have a 2014 when you're begging for change all over the city of Richmond. You're
Why
on.
don't you leave me alone?
You're
before I call the cops?
you're viral. You're on Facebook. You're the talk of the town this morning.
The woman's disability status was never verified. Now, she may need the money that she was begging for, but several other online commenters have chimed in to say that they have seen the same woman before, and that she doesn't appear to be disabled in any way. Since the video was posted to YouTube, it gained over 2 million views within a single day, but it was ultimately removed due to policy violations regarding harassment and bullying. This wasn't the end of Micah's story though. She made headlines just a couple of days later after she was filmed once again. Micah claims that she was being harassed by individuals who had been driving by, so she threw a few bottles of sports drink at the cars of those who had been taunting her. This time her antics took place near a local IHOP. Police were called to the scene by the driver who had the bottles thrown at her, and she showed the video footage to the officers. Micah was immediately arrested and taken in for questioning, but not before insisting that she was the victim, given that she had allegedly been subjected to verbal abuse from the drivers. The woman was eventually charged with 3 counts of throwing items at moving vehicles and was held on bond while awaiting her sentencing. No one knows if she was ever charged or convicted for allegedly begging for money under false pretense. There is still a chance that this woman is genuinely disabled and legitimately needs money to survive, but this can't be confirmed, though locals beg to disagree with all of her claims.
You don't have a disability.
May I see
You
your
don't have a
sign?
disability.
What does your
You don't have a
sign say?
disability.
Your sign says you're homeless.
Number 2. If you thought Micah's story was awful, wait until you get a load of this. A young pregnant woman was seen begging on a street corner with her young son. A passerby stopped and watched her for a brief time before watching her get into a Mercedes-Benz with her boyfriend and drive off to her home, which is estimated to cost over $2,500 per month. Unbelievable. The woman was captured in several images that were shared online and sent to local news stations. The photos show the pregnant woman begging for money alongside her young son, presumably using him as leverage to guilt passersby into believing that she is a struggling young mother who desperately needs financial help. She had been spotted by people around town countless times, and her face was relatively well recognized by locals. She was widely considered to be in great distress, and many of those in the local area felt very bad for her and wanted to help out in any way that they could. Some even went as far as buying the woman food to help feed herself and her young son. This all changed when her face and illegitimate claims were plastered across local news channels, breaking down the facade that she had worked so long to build. However, after a short while, she returned to the local scene, begging for money once more. Quite a ballsy move, considering that nearly everyone now knew that she was faking her entire story. When she returned, she had now given birth to her newborn baby and brought it along with her while she was begging for money and food. Her young son was with her once again as well. Photos were once again captured of the young woman and were, as expected, shared with local news organizations yet again. Her boyfriend was spotted nearby as well, with this being the first time that anyone had seen the two together in public. A news reporter for ABC 10 finally decided to approach the couple and question them about what they had been doing. She brought along video evidence of the two panhandling and driving away in a car worth over $35,000. The boyfriend was asked about the car, but he denied owning any sort of luxury vehicle. The young woman, on the other hand, acted as though she could not speak English.
You right there begging on the street? That's not. No speak English?
After she had already been photographed and filmed at a nearby intersection holding a sign that was written in the English language. Talk about the nerve of some people. The woman refused to answer simple yes or no questions and continued pretending as though she had no idea what the reporter was talking about. The reporter compared side-by-side images of the woman from the intersection and the woman who was confronted with the newborn baby and confirmed that they were in fact the same woman, as she looked identical and was wearing the same shoes and handbag that had been pictured at the intersection several weeks before. The news station then showed images of the young couple driving down the highway in the aforementioned Mercedes, with the pictures indicating that their young son was not even buckled in his seat while the couple was traveling at speeds of over 60 miles per hour. After these photos and videos were shared, the woman has never been seen again, and it is assumed that they moved out of the city, considering that the apartment they lived in is now vacant. Number 3. This final story is by far the worst because this woman is known to have been begging at an intersection in New York for over 4 years. Mark Bulliett, a reporter of the New York Times, says that this woman was estimated to have made about $20 for every 20 minutes that she would stand at an intersection of a popular high-end shopping district. She would beg for money from wealthy shoppers, with many of them even offering her food and beverages in addition to cash.
Cost you $5.
$5 for a paper that's free?
I walked all the way over to the vending machine, got the papers out, and brought them back over here so you can have them personally delivered to you.
You did that for me?
The woman would often sit outside in the area all day, leaving at the end of the day with upwards of $500 in her pocket, amounting to a whopping $14,000 a month, simply for sitting on her bum and asking people for money. The woman was approached by a reporter who had caught on to her scheme after watching her walk away and head home at the end of each day. No one knows where the woman was living at the time of her charade, but the worst part is that she admitted to being a fraud. When the reporter questioned her behavior, she came clean and admitted that she had been showing up to her so-called work every day, wearing a raggedy blanket, tattered clothes, and tears streaming down her face. She says that the clothes are part of her costume, but that she truly does sleep with the blanket each night. She explained that her tears were genuine as well, but explained that anyone who holds their eyes open long enough can begin to cry. However, when that doesn't work, she just tilts her head and begins thinking of her past, which helps the tears flow. The woman is known to have laid on the corner of an intersection in New York from about the year 2000 through 2004, when the article about her was written. It is assumed that she continued begging for money for many years afterward, but that has not been confirmed. The worst form of a liar is someone who admits to lying but continues to do it anyway.
We've been watching you the last few days, and you don't really need those crutches, do you? We saw you this morning walking perfectly fine.
This woman is the lowest of lows. Thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next video.
Been watching you. You're the bogus beggar guy that makes $100,000 a year, right?